since you talked about regenerative farming, so that's I would say like a technique or the method that you are basically using to produce food, which respects the laws of the nature. So could you, for the viewers, could you explain what exactly is regenerative farming that you are trying to?
I mean, there's many ways to go to explain this, but I like to, maybe the easiest to comprehend is to follow 5 principles. First of all, minimal, if not in our case, no disturbance of the soil. Basically, we are aware that the soil is very much alive, and it's a living and healthy soil that is supporting plant growth, and plant growth supports animal growth, like in terms of you and me, but also the animals that produce food for us. So we don't till, we don't plow, we don't dig, we don't
don't disturb the soil. Yeah,
exactly. That's the first principle. The other thing is we cover the soil with living material or compost.
Okay.
So what you see here, for instance, it looks like soil, but it's actually compost on top of soil. Because if you expose the soil, first of all, you're gonna erode it. You're gonna, like the wind, the rain, you're gonna lose nutrients, and you're gonna just decrease the amount of soil that you have. And soil is what grows food, right? And then you, with the sun, it will sterilize it as well. So the life in the soil is gonna disappear. It's gonna compact. Not so much in the greenhouse, but actually rain is the biggest compaction factor, not machinery. I mean, that's a big compaction as well, but it's a little bit of rain over the whole winter that creates a very compacted soil. Compacted soil means that there is no oxygen inside, which inhibits the growth of weeds because they like soil without much oxygen, and also pathogens, diseases. They actually, the soil basically goes anaerobic, which means that you get problems. We grow roots. We keep the roots in the ground, like you see as well. Like we don't pull out carrots. I pull out.
Okay.
Beetroots I pull out. But if I harvest a salad or broccoli or so, I leave the roots in. I'll cut the stem off at the end of the cycle of that space where I grow, but I leave the roots in the ground. So as much as possible, again, not to disturb, but also that will break down. And then another principle is to have animals integrated in the farm, for the reason of cycling nutrients, but also just for the impact of the animals in terms of action, kinetic energy, like hoof impact basically, or whatever. Like with the chicken, is the fact that there is something scratching the earth and so on, and they create little niches on the soil surface for seeds to come in and
basically summarize the whole concept. Yeah, that's nice. And I would like to ask one more thing, like on the context of regenerative farming. So
actually thrive, and then for manure impact. So yeah, by adding, I mean, there's no better fertilizer than there's no better fertilizer than animal manure. But it's very important with animal impact that you don't overstock, that there's not too many animals, and that you move them very regularly. So we move our chicken every other day. Every 48 hours we move our whole chicken flock in the summer, by building a mobile chicken coop, also called an egg mobile. And then I have electric netting, and so I move the whole flock, which means also that the eggs are extremely good because they get to eat fresh grass, fresh herbs, worms, insects all the time. And they don't stand in their own shit all summer long. And yeah, I mean, and they are exposed to the elements, the sun, the wind, the rain, everything is there. So they're very healthy birds. And we did not see disease last summer, for instance, because of the conditions they're in. In the winter, of course, in Finland, there's no point in rotating them because it's like this. But then we keep them in our greenhouse, which is very good for chicken because they're very sensitive to light. If they're in darkness, they will stop laying eggs. So they need a certain amount of hours of daylight to keep on laying eggs. So in the greenhouse, it's everything is natural. I don't add extra lights there, so I don't pay for extra lights either. And then we collect the manure in a system of deep litter. So they live on straw, and I keep on adding straw. You could use wood chips. You could use peat moss. We don't like to use peat moss because of other problems that come with that. Straw is not ideal either because it's a monoculture grain product, but it's easily available, and in our context is the best thing we can use. Anyways, we compost that after the winter, and then we after 1 year of composting, we spread it on our vegetable beds. So then we recycle the waste. I mean, it's not waste.
It's like a closed system.
Exactly. And then my like for instance, this parsley, I feed to the chicken as well. This is leftover, but it's still very healthy for them to eat.
Exactly.
And then I have root vegetables that I grow over the summer that I like. There's like out of a bed of beetroots, there's gonna be there's gonna be a good amount of beetroots that are not sellable because they're too small or there's some imperfection. But the chicken are very happy eating beetroots in the winter time. So yeah, having animals on the farm makes a lot of sense. And then animals also, this has been studied, and with every new species of farm animals, you see 7 species of wild animals come into the farm.
Okay.
So they stimulate biodiversity.
Okay.
So for all these reasons, we think animal production is really very beneficial for a farm.
That's really summarize what's exactly regenerative farming. You're basically trying to minimize the external inputs and trying to use the output of one thing as an input to another thing, so that the system is closed. Yeah,
we have this saying that whatever can't walk or drive itself off the farm cannot get out. Like, it has to stay on the farm.
Oh yeah, that's